Hey guys, it's AJ Hensley, and this is my very first podcast. Beautiful song, isn't it? It's Invisible by Hunter Hayes. I love it so much. It hits home. You should definitely go check it out. But the quote in there, in that song that pops up several times is "You're not invisible." It just goes along with this podcast perfectly of bystanders and bullying. All right. So, have you guys ever seen an individual ever taking advantage of another one? Obviously the individual is probably much bigger than its victim, and that victim is probably much more defenseless, powerless, smaller. What were you doing when that happened? Were you watching? Were you recording? Were you walking? Were you helping the bully? Did you do anything? Let's say you walked away. You didn't do anything. What if that individual that was being bullied didn't come in the next day? Didn't come in the next week? What if that individual weren't to have to come in again, come into school, come into work, wherever it was? What if you could have changed that? What if, instead of saving the video, you could have saved a life? Now, bullying has been a huge topic, ever since bullying was even known. It's always been around. But you've always seen interviewers talking to the two kids about what they've witnessed, blah blah blah. Have you seen bullying? Yes, of course, everybody's seen bullying. But whenever they ask of you, will you do something? They say, yeah, I should do this. I should do that. They don't say, I will do this. I will do that. I have done this. But instead, they don't say, I will put my phone away. I will help. I will save a life. Parents see their kids saying that they should stick up for the individual. But while the kid is being destroyed and bullied and abused, the kid is watching saying, I should do this. I should do this. I should do that. That kid needs to stop saying, I should. We should all stop saying, I should. And while you're standing there watching this kid being mentally and physically abused, and you're saying to yourself in closing, encountering all this stuff of what's happening, I know it's shocking, but while you're physically thinking of this in your brain, should I help? Should I get involved? Should I? You could be already doing something and helping this kid out, helping this adult out, helping whoever out, and ending it. And while if you're sitting there saying should I, that person is taking another hit, another whatever, another drop of insecurity, Well, I took the time to talk to somebody about his view on bullying, and I asked, what would you do if you see a bully? Typical question. He said, I would say stop and go away. Typical answer. Then he continued. He said, I wouldn't do anything else other than that. This is what people don't hear from kids. They never hear the rest of the story. They don't ever hear what the kid is really actually thinking, probably. I'm not saying every kid is a bad kid, but I'm going to keep this guy anonymous. But I said, why? He said, I'm not real enough. This is where we go wrong first. People think of their pride instead of, their character. They think of themselves over probably the victim. It's people. I'm sorry. It's just mind-boggling that you could just think of yourself so much over somebody else when you can be helping that kid. In that split second, instead of saying should I, you could have saved his life. You could have saved him. Now I'm going to refer back to a quote from A Rose for Emily, which is a book I read, and it was main character, she was, I guess you could say, beaten down by life in her past. Now, the townsfolk there known this, and they didn't do anything. They talked about it, they didn't do anything. She died alone. That's it. She died by herself. Now, I'm going to refer back to another story that relates to a podcast, that definitely relates to my podcast. It's called Resistance to Civil Government. This is about a man in a time era of a Mexican war is expressing his opinion on the government, which he believes is flawed and needs to be fixed. One quote that really stuck out to me was, if one honest man in Massachusetts seizing to hold slaves were actually to withdraw from his co-partnership and be locked up in the county jail, therefore, it would be the abolition of slavery. These two stories represent two different points of view. One did nothing and negative outcome. One could have done something and could have a drastic positive outcome. Now, these two quotes basically represent two different people, and honestly, you need to choose who you are, to be honest, because you see someone getting beat, honestly, I would step up, and I have. I was walking to school one day, and I saw this one kid being slapped around, being yelled at, being cussed at, and and I had walked up and I told the bully to go away. I was pushed. By this kid. I knew none of these kids, by the way. I was pushed. I was yelled at. And since I touched him, to create distance, I was suspended. That's an honest man. I'm not putting myself above anybody, but I think that's somebody that's honest. Do you have a good character? Will you turn off the camera? Will you save a life? That's my question to you. Alright, guys, thank you. Have a good one. Yes,